There's been the most bizarre exchange between Frizzle, who's the producer of This Morning, and John Nicholson, who's an SNP MP, but he's also an ex-journalist, and he's on the committee for the Digital Culture, Media and Sport. And he says he was talking to whistleblowers at ITV who are extremely unhappy. He said it seems like a very unhappy place. That's certainly the impression I've got as well. And the word toxic sounds perfectly reasonable as a word to describe the atmosphere in This Morning. Mr. Frizzle said, "I'll tell you what's toxic, and I've always found it toxic. Aubergine. Do you like aubergine?" And Mr. Nicholson said that these comments seemed surreal and bizarre. I wouldn't like to be a young staffer going in talking to that editor about bullying, given that that's the way he treats the subject matter on camera in public. It just seems odd. Magnus Brook, who is ITV's Director of Strategy, Policy and Regulation, has already told MPs that he thinks that bullying is unacceptable and should be dealt with appropriately. And as for the aubergine question, he said it was extremely ill-judged to say what he did. But I can reassure you on behalf of ITV that we do take all of these allegations very seriously, precisely because we do have a culture in which people's conduct matters enormously to us. Well, then there shouldn't be any exception. If when there's a serious subject, the people who are supposed to be senior and supposed to be in charge talk about aubergines, I'm not surprised there's a problem in Channel 4 and in ITV. I'm not remotely surprised. I think the problem goes through television. I think the problem is about the sort of people who produce sofa sleaze and reality TV. These people believe that they are the dynamic and they are the control, and that they are God. And anybody who believes that they are God, frankly, needs to be taken down a notch or two. Brooke said that bullying is absolutely a breach of our code of conduct. If we find bullying, it's inconsistent with our policy, and we'd expect people to report it, and we'd expect it to be dealt with appropriately. And Schofield says there's not a toxic environment on This Morning. Well, I suppose he would know. That's presumably why he's still got his job. Raj Singh said that it is toxic, and he's not got his job. The issues, I think, go well beyond Schofield, who I suspect, in fact, I'm pretty certain I know, has been given a formula to get a whole string of people off the hook. Well, I don't think they should be off the hook. And ITV, in response to Raj's comments, has said that there's no evidence of bullying or discrimination. Well, of course there isn't. It's been hidden. But I could point to evidence of bullying and discrimination all the way through the television industry. I think that television can do a great job. I think that I even think that sofa sleaze and reality TV can be great, but not when they're controlled by people who are pressing buttons and have already decided what should be there. The whole point about sitting on a sofa is that you're having a conversation. The whole plan under This Morning is that you're basically reciting a slogan or giving a speech that's already prepared for you. You're just reading what's there. That's not interesting. You can get that in the House of Commons.